TrumanLakeFishingIntel.com presents your latest Truman Lake Fishing Intel Expert Roundtable. TrumanLakeFishingIntel.com is your premier resource for up-to-date expert fishing reports and videos to help you find the fish faster and become a better Truman angler. Multi-species coverage includes crappie, catfish, bass, hybrids, and more. View this month's full episode roundtable exclusively at TrumanLakeFishingIntel.com. This month's roundtable is brought to you by Anglers Port Marine. Whether you're a first-time boat owner or a seasoned professional, Anglers Port Marine has an option for you. Conveniently located between Clinton and Warsaw on 7 Highway, stop on in to view top industry boat brands including Phoenix and Low Boats. With their award-winning sales and service, Anglers Port Marine has you covered. 660-438-4600 or learn more at anglersportmarine.com. The Mahoney Real Estate Team, powered by eXp Realty. Introducing Tyler Mahoney, your trusted real estate expert from eXp Realty. With longtime roots in the Truman Lake area, Tyler knows the ins and outs of the many great features our region has to offer. As one of the top-selling real estate agents around the lake, Tyler excels in selling both land and homes, consistently fetching top prices for his clients. What sets Tyler apart? He delivers exceptional service through his professionalism and negotiation while using extensive marketing tools to get the most eyes on your property, including tools that no other agent has available in the entire state of Missouri. For a seamless real estate experience and unparalleled results, contact Tyler Mahoney today. Reach him directly at 816-536-7038. And now, let's start the show.
Boys and girls, we're back again for another edition of the Truman Lake Fishing Intel Expert Roundtable. It is the May 2025 edition. A lot of really fun, cool things to talk about tonight. The crappie fishing in the month of April is always a highlight for everyone. That spawn bite is really fun to chase. We had a lot of severe weather this spring, and so it had its major ups and downs as far as finding a spawn. There wasn't a lot of consistency on it, but it was up and down. People did find some. We're going to talk about that and just kind of recap the spoonbill season with Jason Smith down here on my left. Dylan Stocking, Get Outdoors Guide Service. He's been doing a bunch of crappie fishing. He's going to have some good reports for us from the Grand and the Osage. And Sean Bowling here, Sean Bowling's Guide Service. He was out chasing some catfish around today, as a matter of fact, finding a pretty good bite up there in the Grand Arm. We're going to talk about that as well. And J.B. Gray, who is our kayak bass fisherman here on Truman Lake, he's going to be talking some bass fishing with us, and he's kind of got a report on behalf of Jared Fosnow, who just won the All-American Kayak Classic. Yep. 100 and how many? 80 or 70?
Yeah, I think that 175.
It was a ton. And Jared I asked Jared to be here. He was tied up, unfortunately, tonight. We're going to get an interview with him to have him tell the story a little bit more. He did put up a fishing report for his 2 days out there on the water, but he's been super close in the past and finally got it done. So we're gonna talk about that. Before we get started, thank you so much to all of you guys for being members, for watching. If you haven't signed up for a Pro Plus membership yet, go check out TrumanLakeFishingIntel.com and get yourself a membership, because this full video, it'll be about an hour and a half long with these guys, and we will be going into depth about all the latest and greatest fishing patterns and tips and areas that they're biting, and it'll, for $75 a year, you're spending that on a tank of gas to come down for the weekend, and actually you're spending more than that on a tank of gas in your boat and your truck. So it really can help speed up the learning curve in many, many cases. So be sure to check out TrumanLakeFishingIntel.com and get yourself a membership if you haven't already. And we're really looking forward to talking fishing tonight. Thank you to Anglers Port Marine, located down on 7 Highway between Clinton and Warsaw, Missouri, for your Low and Phoenix boats. I got a great selection, great inventory of boats right now as well. So be sure you told them you heard about it at TrumanLakeFishingIntel.com. They're going to hook you up with a great deal. So Anglers Port Marine. And hey, one other thing too, and Dylan and I were discussing this earlier. If you guys are looking in the Truman Lake area to donate any money towards a really, really good cause, Zoe's Home, which Dylan's wife Emily is basically runs the whole thing, right?
Yep.
They're trying to raise funds. It's a really, really awesome. It really kind of touched my wife and I here recently, and we're going to make a donation, and we recommend that you guys do as well for it. For women that are expecting, but maybe don't have the resources to support a newcomer, a new baby. It helps those folks right here in our Clinton Truman Lake community, and it is badly needed and much appreciated. So be sure to check out Zoe's home online and see how you can help either financially or with any other kind of donation. But with that, let's talk about some fishing. Let's get into it. We're going to talk about the crappie fishing first. I think that's what everyone kind of wants to know. Is there any kind of crappie spawn still going on? Did it ever really take off? Because according to our data and what these guys' experience says, that third week of April is typically the time where you really start seeing it. And it turns out, based on our fishing reports, it's actually just a little bit sooner. It's like that April 15th to the 20th time frame is when it really gets going, which is basically the start of the third week. But Dillon, what have you been seeing? We're 10 days into May now, and are we done? Is the spawn over or what?
Upper Grand, it's over.
Okay.
Every fish we're catching now is pretty well spawned out. So
Okay.
There might be a few left up there on the banks trying to spawn or whatever. I think the water got high about the time they were really hitting the banks, and I think them fish, they still stayed on the original bank.
Yeah, where they were at.
They spawned. They were, if you had live scope, you could go down the original bank, and they were sitting on the top of them stumps, and they were spawning.
Really?
Yep.
So you saw it where they were, and when you say on top, you're meaning right on top.
They were
Yep.
spawning. I think a lot of them spawned right on top of them stumps. We'd go down through there and you catch them off the top of them stumps, and they would be, some of them were squirting eggs right there on top of them stumps.
When the water came up, that was about what, April 20th time frame, if I remember correctly.
Probably, I'd have to go back and look.
Well, April 20th was opening day of turkey season. It would have been probably right after that. That week, later in that week. It was that Wednesday, Thursday.
Yep. That Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
We got hammered
over that weekend. Yeah, and then we got all that rain.
And so now that doesn't mean all the crappie were up spawning at that exact time. You
exactly.
heard of some waves after that.
They were spawning before that. I think right before that they were hitting it. I think it was getting ready to be on fire.
That'd probably be the best year we're gonna have. Big bite, and it just shut down.
And then it jumped up, and you didn't really catch them off the bank, but it doesn't mean they didn't spawn.
It was shaping up to be one of the better, because we had just a real consistent.
It was consistent by the whole way.
Yeah.
Like last year, we got real hot real early, and they spawned a little, then backed off, and went again.
Yeah.
This year was gonna be perfect.
Yeah. It was gonna be good, but
that's good for the spawn and for the fry we get for the next few years to come.
yeah. I think it's good. It'll be good for the population to get some high water, and a lot of them fish didn't get caught, didn't get pressured.
Yeah.
So
do we think, and have we heard any reports on the lower end, there's maybe still some last little waves going on, or no?
I haven't heard a whole lot. I've seen a few guys catching them up shallow, but the water's dropping now, and them fish, they were up in them bushes. A few fish. You can go down through there, and if you hit the right stretch, you can catch some.
Yeah.
Pretty scattered, just down through the banks, or if you were fishing out deep, they've been scattered. Now the water's dropped probably a foot now in the last 2 days, so they're evacuating them bushes quick.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Getting out there deep. So us guys using live scope and chasing them out deep, we're seeing a lot more fish.
Yeah. You were down mid-grand, past the cut through a little bit. When you caught a bunch of crappie, you said they had still all their eggs.
Several of them did, but they were ready to go.
Yeah.
But they were on. I was catching them out from a bluff in the middle of the channel.
Okay.
And one of the things that Dad's always told me is if those fish don't find the right conditions, if it's not right for them, they'll dump their eggs out in the middle and go on, or absorb them, or whatever the case may be. And those fish that I'm catching down there are probably fish that aren't going to spawn. Period.
Yeah.
And about half of them would be like that, and the other half would be spawned out fish. We'd see their tails just tore to crap and wounds all over them, and you could tell they got the thing done.
Wow, that's really interesting. And good numbers of fish down there, though.
Yeah, really good numbers down there. We finished 2 or 3 days ago. We had 45 fish at 855 in a 100-yard stretch.
Wow.
And there were some solid fish in there. A lot of just good eaters, but if you find the right stretch, it's on fire.
Yeah.
And they're eating like crazy. As long as you keep that bait a little bit above them, they come running for it.
Yeah. Yeah, because you had a little bit different situation this morning where you were way up the Grand.
I went way up the Grand. I just had one guy this morning, and we went way up the Grand, just looking at summertime stuff basically, and seeing if those spawned out fish had hit the summertime stuff. And I ran through some pretty good stuff, and seen 4 or 5 fish really. And they caught all those.
How much distance do you think you covered up there?
A bunch.
Like more than a few hundred yards.
More than a few hundred yards.
Wow.
Yeah. No, my trolling motor, if anybody's seen me fish, when my trolling motor, it's on high.
Yeah.
And I can cover some water pretty quick. And I spent 45 minutes to an hour up there.
Oh my gosh.
So I covered a bunch.
Yeah.
I covered a big flat.
That's wild. That's wild.
I covered a bunch.
Just barren wasteland out there.
It was. I didn't see a whole lot, which it's still high for kind of where I was at. I didn't know, Didn't know. So we just went looking.
Yeah.
Looking for
That's
a
a
little
note
bit.
for next year.
Yeah.
And, so
Yeah, we got to get that report done. That
So
right up
then-
there.
So then,
Gotta get that AI.
we pulled off that. I was like, all right, let's go catch some fish, and pulled into a creek and had them caught in an hour and 15 minutes. I
quick.
think we had 30. So
Now, Jason, you were trolling. You have fish down in the lower end, crappie. You do it a little bit different though. You like pulling cranks.
Yep.
I know you pitched them too, but was that this morning that you were doing that, or that?
I pulled cranks first this morning. Yeah.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about that.
It's really good actually. Color doesn't matter. Caught it on all my rods. Probably caught 70 fish trolling cranks today.
Oh my word!
Mhm.
Anything quality wise?
10, 11, 12 inches, but
Yeah.
nothing. Everything's so skinny right now for
Yeah.
being spawned out
Yeah.
down there that.
And you're not hearing of much bank anything going on down
No, I seen some people down there casting the banks, but I didn't see a whole lot of action. Everybody that was catching was on deep water.
there. Is below the dam and the dead water still? That was a thing here not too long ago. wasn't it?
They're not so much in the dead water no more. You can catch them in the current.
Yeah.
Now you can current breaks around the bends.
Okay.
And, probably a little more in the current breaks now than in the dead water itself.
So the fish are moving out.
Yeah,
Yes.
moving out.
When you were pulling cranks, like, kind of give me the rundown of, what's it looking like on the graph? Where are you on a bluff? Are you what's
So I'm fishing deep water. I'm pretty much in 20 to 60 foot of water. Fishing off bluff faces, post spawn areas outside of creek mouths, fishing the outside of the big creek mouths, and just pulling down the shorelines, trying to keep in that 30 foot of water range. And most of the fish right now, I'm catching them in 15 foot or less. But if I would have put some weights on my cranks, I'd probably catch more. There's a lot of fish right at that 15 to 25 foot range.
Yeah. And these cranks get down how deep, you said?
About 15.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you were
I'm running.
now, when you do put a weight on it, tell me about that a little bit. Are you just putting a little split shot up the line a little bit, or?